All right, so when you are multiplying, and we've gone over this before, but we're going to go over it again. You multiply the coefficients. And then what do you do to the exponents? When you multiply, what do you do to your exponents? Add them. Very good. Thank you. So you multiply your coefficients, add the exponents. It is just distributing. That's all that we're doing. So I'm going to do a few, and then you're going to try one. And we just need to do enough so that we understand what's going on. So look at the first one. You take that 3x and distribute it through there. So first you do 3x times 2x. That would give you 6x squared. The ones aren't written, but there's a 1 on that one, and there's a 1 on that one, and 1 plus 1 is 2. You would probably do well to remember that x times x is x squared, though, because you see that one a lot. Okay? Minus, and then you're going to do 3x times 4, which would be 12x. Very good. Let's try it again. Now, this one's more complicated, obviously, but it's the exact same idea. You have to distribute to all three of those. Do you remember what we call it when there's 3 terms? What's the prefix that means? Hold on, she's saying the answer. Trinomial. Trinomial. This microphone is picking you up. Trinomial. So when you multiply the first two, 2 times 6 is 12. And then for the a's, you're going to add the exponents. So that would give us what? 5. And then what else is just there? B is kind of just there. It's just along for the ride, all right? Plus, and then you're going to do the next one. 2 times 7 is 14. And then add for the a's. Again, if there isn't one written, it's a 1. So that would be 4. And then for B, you have a B here and a B here. 1 plus 1 is 2. If you want to go and write little ones on all the places that they're missing, you can do that. All right, minus, and then you're going to do the third one. 2 times 4 is 8. And then what? Yeah, 8 to the third, A3, good. And then B3, good. 1 plus 2 is 3. All right, let's just do this next one. I'm going to have you try one because there's a ton of problems on this. We don't need to necessarily do everything. All right, so you're going to distribute to all 3 of those. That negative sign comes with you. Okay, so look at this first one. -2 times -3. It'll be positive 6 because negatives cancel. And then x to the what? Good. Third, 1 plus 2 gives you 3. And then y, and you can put the 1 in there if you want. That's kind of just there. All right, for the next one, -2 times 4, -8. And then it would be x to the what? 2. Good. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then the same thing is going to happen for y. Y times y gives you y squared. And then the last one, -2 times -9, positive 18. Good. And then you have x, because it's kind of just there. And then y to the third. Good. 1 plus 2 is 3. Yes. Like, for example, if that was just a -2 all by itself, you would still distribute it. All right, let's try this one. You're going to distribute to all 3 of those. This is the last one we're going to do together. And then I have you do the you do one. You try one. -3 times -2, positive 6. And then you'd have n to the 4th. 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, for the middle one, -3 times 3 is -9. And then you would have n to the third. Very good. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then for the last one, -3 times 4, -12, n to the second. Very good. So I'm going to hit pause. I want you to try that one. So you're going to distribute the 3x to all 3 of those. You should get 15x to the third minus 3x squared plus 12x.
I got it right.
Good job.
When it was plus, I put minus, so when it was minus, I put plus.
Okay, so what you did is you treated it like there was a negative out here. You don't want to do that. There's not a negative in that one. And sorry, there was another question. Go ahead. You have an x here and an x here. So x times x gives you x squared. Or you can think of it as 1 plus 1 gives you 2. But you see, everybody, you see that one a lot. X times X is X squared. Like you are gonna see that a ton. So get used to that. 1 + 1 is 2. All right, if this page goes well, then we'll do our break after this one. Now you're gonna have to be able to distribute and then combine like terms. So these are two-step problems, and sometimes they can get kind of long, but you're gonna be all right. So look at the first part. You're gonna distribute the X through those parentheses. So that will give you 3x squared, good. Minus 4x, so that's the distributing, that's like what we just did on the other side of the paper. And then you've got that minus 5x. Now the next step is what you guys did on that quiz I passed back to you, which is putting the like terms together. So which two go together?
-4x.
Good, so together that makes -9x, good, and then that's your answer. So it's 2 steps, okay?
Ouch, ow, oh my God.
All right, so for this one, you're gonna distribute 4r into those parentheses, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here, but let's do one thing at a time, okay? 4 times 2, 8. Now, do you see how I started all the way over here? Because this is gonna get really long. You're gonna have to write kind of small, okay? It would be 4r to the what? Third, good, perfect. Minus 4r times 3r would be 12r squared, 1 + 1 is 2.
Oh,
And then plus 4r times 5 is 20r. Now you're going to take the 6r and distribute it into that one. So that's going to give you 24r to the what? Third, good. Plus 6r times 2r, that would be 12r, 2, good, squared, plus 6r times 8, 48r. Sorry, see, I still didn't even have room and I started all the way over there. Then your next step is you put the like terms together, exactly like you did on your quiz. And you all did well on the quiz, so just do it again. 8r cubed is gonna go with, which one, 24r cubed?
32r.
Focus over here, 32r cubed. When you add them together, it doesn't change, it's just like terms. It's like if you have 8 apples plus 24 apples, you have 32 apples. They didn't change to oranges. There's, you're just adding them together. All right, and then 12 or -12r squared plus 12r squared. What goes on with that? Yeah, good, just get rid of them, don't write anything. And then 20r plus 48r be 68r, and that's your final answer. All right, I'm gonna skip number 8, we'll just do number 9. I'm not trying to torture you, just need to do enough so that you understand what's going on. This one has 3 sets of parentheses, do you see that? So we're gonna distribute 2 into this one. Oh, that was your question, do you still distribute if it's just a plain number? Yeah, like this, you're just gonna distribute the 2. Again, kind of start over here, because it's gonna get really long. That'll give you 8x squared minus 4x. And then you're going to distribute not a 3, but a good -3 into these parentheses. -3 times -6x squared. That'll give you positive 18x squared. Let me just finish this one and I'll get you your paper, okay? And then -3 times 4 is -12. Perfect. Thank you for staying with me. And then you're going to distribute 2x into this one. That'll be 2x squared, good, minus 2x. So you get this big long string of information and then you put the like terms together. What goes with the 8x squared? All right, 18x squared and 2x squared. Okay, focus right here. So adding that together, well, 18 and 2 is 20. So 28x squared, good. And then -4x and -2x. -6x, and then the -12 doesn't go with anything, so just -12. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit pause, and I want you to try that one. So I hit record. I'm going to catch up to where you guys are so you can check your first step.
What's 22 plus 54?
Hold on, it seems like the numbers are getting big.
Where'd you get 22?
6.
And where'd you get 166 from?
I never said that.
That's 62.
Oh,
That's 16 B.
That's 16B. Can you check the first step? And it'll take you a second to do it because there's a lot of terms. There's 6 terms you have to look through. Is that what you guys got though?
Yeah.
It sounds like it is because you were saying some of the numbers.
I got
Okay,
I got 6B.
16B.
No, I'm talking about,
2B times 8, 16B.
I'm talking about for the second one,
Here,
not the second one.
oh, this one?
Yeah.
8B squared. 2B times 4B. 2 times 4 is 8. B times B is B squared. Again, you guys are gonna have to get that. 1 plus 1 is 2.
1 plus 1 is 2.
If you have X times X, it's X squared. If you have B times B, it's B squared. That one shows up a lot. You're gonna have to get that. All right, now let's put the like terms together. 2B cubed would go with -9. So that would be -7B cubed. And then we said 8 minus 27, what did we say? That was -19 B squared. And then 16B plus 54B is 70B. Good job.
That's not
Awesome.
what I got.
So go ahead and flip over. Now we're going to do multiplying. So this page is a binomial by a binomial. Bi means 2, so it's 2 by 2. Do you see how there are 2 terms in this parenthesis and 2 terms in this parenthesis? Like, you have to notice that before you do anything else. I'm sorry. Stop that. Stop that. Okay. So do you see how there are 2 terms right here and 2 terms right here? When you see that, what you want to do is draw a 2 by 2 box. Like that. Has anyone taken biology? Did you do the Punnett squares?
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
You remember that from biology? I always liked that part of biology. So it looks kind of like that. You're gonna put the first one along the top, 2x and then -2, and then the 4x plus 3 along the side. Or honestly, the other way around, it technically doesn't matter. And then you're gonna multiply everything together. You ready? And you know your times table, so stick with me on this. 4x times 2x. 8, and then x times x is x squared. Again, you guys have to get that. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now do the next one. 4x times -2. -8x. Good. And then do this one. 2x times 3 is 6x. And then do the last one. 3 times -2 is -6. Now, it's all, if you do it correctly, what's always going to happen is the ones on the diagonals are going to combine together. Do you see how those are the same? So your final answer to the whole thing is 8x squared. And then you put these together. -8x plus 6x. What would that give you? -2x and then -6. That's the final answer to the whole thing. So you draw a little box, multiply them all together. And if you do it correctly, the diagonal ones will go together. Do you see how this has 2 terms and this has 2 terms? Binomial times a binomial. So you're going to draw a little box. And one of them goes along the top, the other goes along the side. And again, it doesn't really matter which one you put where because you're going to multiply it all together anyway. So in the first one, you're doing 5x times 1x. And you could put the 1 in front of that if you want. What is that going to give you? Good. 5x squared. 5 times 1 is 5. Don't say wrong numbers on purpose, okay? And then this one, 3 times x, it's just 3x. And then this one, 4 times 5x, 20x. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Again, if you've done everything correctly, these diagonal ones are going to go together. And then you just write out your answers. So it'll be 5x squared plus what? 23x. Enough. Don't say wrong numbers on purpose. 20 plus 3 is 23. All right. And then plus 12. So draw a box. Put one of them along the top, the other along the side. This one's simpler because there's not as many numbers in the problem. So in the first box, x times x is x squared. Stop it. And then this one will be minus 2x. This one will be what? Well, minus 7x, good. And then negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to put the like ones together, which again, it'll be the diagonal ones if you've done it right. Yeah, a broken clock is correct twice a day. Negative 2x and negative 7x is negative 9x, and then plus 14. We'll do one more together, and then you're going to try one on your own. All right, so draw a box. One of them goes along the top, the other one goes along the side. Yes, go ahead.
Does it matter if you have x squared?
It technically doesn't matter the order, and I wouldn't mark it wrong, but you're supposed to have them go in descending order, like the squared and then the x and then the number. It's not wrong if you write it the other way, though. You just don't typically see it like that. But that's a good question. All right, so for the first box, what's going to go in this one? Good, 15m squared. M times m is m squared. We're getting there. All right, and then 15m times negative 3 is negative 45m. If you didn't know 15 times 3 is 45, that's fine. You can use a calculator. Now, when you multiply anything times 1, it's not going to change. So, yeah, plus 1m, and you can leave the 1 in there if you want, plus 1m, and then negative 3 times 1 is just negative 3. So your final answer is 15m squared, and then you put these together, negative 45m plus 1m, negative 44m, and then minus 3. Now this one's written as a word problem. It says find the area. The area of a rectangle is length times width. So what you want to do is multiply those together. So draw a box, put one of them along the top and the other one along the side. I'm going to hit pause. I want you to try it and then check your answer when I go over it. What did you put in the first little box? 2x squared. Good. We're getting there with the squared. All right. And then this one, negative 4x. Perfect. And then this one, 8x. And then 8 times negative 2. Oh, close. Negative 16. All right. And then these are going to go together. So it should be 2x squared.
What?
And then,
Four.
good, 8 minus 4 is 4, 4x, and then minus 16. If you listen to me for what we're going to do on the back page, it's the same thing we just did with like one extra step. Okay, so you're going to get it. Just flip over and listen to me. Now this one, or did anyone get the whole way through that one? Did anyone get it right? Cool. Is a binomial by a trinomial. Do you notice how this has 2 terms and then this has 3? You see that? So you're going to do the exact same thing, except instead of a 2 by 2 box, you're going to make it 2 by 3. It is no different than what we just did on the other side of the paper. You just have like a couple extra things to multiply. All right. So we're going to have x plus 4 go along this side. And then x squared plus 3x minus 6 go along this side. These ones are a little bigger. Again, the point of practicing this is to do enough until you understand. So I don't need to necessarily do every single one of these if you guys feel like you're getting it, all right? First one, x times x squared. X to the third, good. 1 plus 2 is 3, good job. All right, how about this one? X times 3x. 3x squared, perfect. And then x times negative 6, it's just negative 6x. Good, see, you're getting it, nice. All right, and then this one, 4 times x squared, it's just 4x squared. 4 times 3x,
12x.
12x, good job. See, I told you, you get it. And then 4 times negative 6 is negative 12. Now, I'm going to use different colors for these, but it's not really going to show up on here.
No, it's not.
Again, if,
Not.
oh, it's not, I'm sorry.
24.
Negative 24, thank you, gosh, I'm sorry. Phew, all right. Catastrophe averted. All right, now if you've done everything correctly, again, the diagonal ones are gonna go together. I circled those ones pink and I'm gonna circle these ones green, but you know, you can't really see it that well on the, well, you can kind of tell the difference, I guess. Anyway, the diagonal ones are gonna go together. So you're gonna have x cubed and then put these together, 3x squared plus 4x squared. But, oh, too bad he's not here to say 7. All right, and then 12x minus 6x is 6x and then minus 24. We're gonna try it again.
We start with the x3.
Yeah, and Jordan asked that question. It technically doesn't matter what order you write them in, but we put them in typically descending order. So see how this is to the third and then to the second and then to the first, and this is x to the nothing. So it goes 3, 2, 1, 0. That's what that looks like. All right, do you see how this is 2 by 3? You have to notice that first of all. All right, so draw a 2 by 3 box. If this one goes well, I'll just do one more and then have you do the U try. Yeah, and you just have to do enough so that you understand what's going on. All right, you have 1k minus 5, so you can put the 1 with the k if you want to. And then up here, k squared minus 1k minus 8. So when you multiply these, you are going to get
K3.
k3 cubed, all right? Now this one's a little tricky. Let me get rid of the negative. What's k times k? K squared, it'll just be negative k squared. The negative is kind of just there, all right? And then this one,
K, -8k.
negative 8k, good job. I don't like when it's something that's not x. It always sounds weird when you say it. All right, and then this one will be negative 5k squared. Ooh, careful with this one. Listen, negative 5 times negative k. Positive 5k, the negatives cancel out. And the same thing's gonna happen here. Negative 5 times negative 8
-40.
is positive 40. Good job. All right, so again, if you do it correctly, your diagonal ones are gonna go together. Hey, focus, you have to be able to add, right? So it's gonna be k to the third, and then put these together. It's negative 1 and negative 5. So together, negative 6k squared, good job. And then the ones I circled green, negative 8 plus 5, negative 3k, good, plus 40. We'll do one more together. Do you want to do 3 or 4? And then I'm gonna have you guys do number 5.
We just do
3. Let's do 3. Actually, I'll do 3 and then have you guys do number 4 because the numbers are kind of big in that last one. You don't have a calculator open right now, so we'll do 3 and then I'll have you guys try 4. And if that all goes well, we'll finish with that, okay? So you're gonna put 3x plus 1 along the side, 5x squared plus 2x minus 6 along the side. And the table just keeps you organized, basically, is what you're doing. So what will go in the first one? Good, perfect. 1 plus 2 is 3. 15x to the third. All right, and then this one, and a lot of you aren't even looking at me anymore, which is what I want, because that means you're doing the problem on your own, but just check it and make sure you're right. This next one would be plus 6x squared. And then this one would be minus 18x. Now you kind of catch a break on this one because it's 1. So nothing's going to change. You're going to get 5x squared plus 2x minus 6. Like multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. All right, and then you combine the like terms. So it will be 15x cubed plus what? It'd be 11, 5 plus 6 gives you 11. They're both squared. That's called a copy error. You got to be careful. And then what's the next one? Minus 16x and then minus 6. Now, when you finish, don't stop listening because you need to make sure your answer is right. And there are a lot of negatives in this problem, which negatives are the most commonly missed thing ever, all right? What'd you guys put in the first little box? Cute, good, perfect. And then the next one, hey, you need to listen to this part. You did the problem, that's a very good job. Now you need to listen and fix it if it's not right. This one would be negative 3x squared. X times x gives you x squared. This one would be plus 2x. That's the one you were asking me about. Now here, multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything, but it's not a 1, it's a negative 1. So they all switch their signs. So it's going to be plus 4x squared plus 3x minus 2. How did that go? Because negatives are hard. All right, okay, then let's make sure our final answer is right. It should be negative 4x cubed. And then that would be plus 1x squared. And then plus what? 5x, good, and then minus 2.